Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Defy the Odds. Here's the thing, we're just going to jump right in. If you want to go from 5K, 8K months in your business to 20K months on repeat, you're going to have to step into a higher level of self leadership. You are going to have to raise the standard for what you're available for. You have to stop settling for clients that don't light you the fuck up. You have to stop settling for inconsistent income. You have to stop accepting the highs and lows and calling that good enough. You cannot do that. And this is the step that most people skip. They want to go straight to the strategy. They want to talk about how to make money. They want to talk about their product suite. They want to talk about their messaging. And all of that is fantastic. But if you are not leading yourself to the highest level, if you are not doing the identity work, the energetic work, if you are still thinking of yourself as someone who is building their business, who's just getting started, who hasn't quite figured it out, if you have the belief or the mindset that there's not a lot of people who like what you do or who get what you do, if you still see yourself as someone who has a baby business, if you still stumble over your words when people ask what you do, you're not leading yourself to your fullest capacity. And you know where this is happening. This might be in your daily routines, right? Do you wake up and immediately check your phone and lay in bed for 20 minutes and already feel overwhelmed? Or maybe you're like, man, I really should work in my business today, but I don't know what I need to do. Are you someone who doesn't take care of your body? You're not moving every day. You're eating fast food all the time. Are you someone who excuse me, who shows up one way online as an expert fully in their power, but as soon as the camera's off or you set your phone down, you're a completely different person who's complaining, who's struggling in your relationships, who again is not taking care of themselves, right? Where is that dissonance happening in your life? If you know you have a gap, if you know that you could use a little support with your messaging, if you know that you could use a little support with your social media strategy, whatever it may be, are you getting that support? Are you hiring the coaches? Are you reading the books? Are you taking the trainings and enrolling in the programs, right? Are you leading yourself? If your clients were a fly on the wall of your life and they were watching you, if they saw all the behind the scenes, would they still want to hire you? Would you be proud of what they're seeing? Or would you be a little bit embarrassed? Would you feel guilty that you're taking their money when you're not actually a fully self-led person? This is a place that requires radical honesty and radical self-responsibility because you are your own boss. Nobody's going to tell you what to do. So you have to be willing to take an honest look at yourself, hold up the mirror, and see, where are you not leading yourself? Where do you not trust yourself? Where are you letting yourself off the hook? Where are you letting your inner critic come out and run the show? Where are you being a whiny little bitch? I was just talking to my coach about this earlier today, and I was like, man, my content is so good. Like, it is fire lately. I know exactly what I do. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I know exactly what I can do for my people and the results that I can get them. Like, I fully stand behind it. I'm convicted in my work 100%. So where are the clients? Why are more people not signing up? Like, what is going on? And I was like, is it my messaging? Do I need to tweak this? Like, is it an energetic thing? And she's like, no, sometimes it just takes time. Like, people are watching. You just have to trust it. And I'm like, but I'm not patient. I want them now. Where are the clients? And she's like, this is like whiny little bitch energy. And I was like, oh, right. Oh, right. Right. We can't control when the clients are coming in, but we can control what we're thinking and we can control how we choose to show up every single day. We can control what our next action is going to be. So that is our job. Are you leading yourself? If you are desiring 20K months, what do you think someone who has a business who makes 20K months does? How do they show up? What actions are they taking? What does their routine look like every single day? And does your current reality match that? If not, that's showing you where the gap is. That's showing you what you might need to adjust or change or replace or take out. It's showing you how you are not currently being the person who can make $20,000 months in your business. This whole idea of self-leadership really landed for me about 6 months ago when I was elevating my ideal client. And I've told this story many times, but I was talking to my coach and I was explaining to her what I do and who I work with. And I was like, yeah, my one-on-one coaching right now is more geared toward people who want to hit around 5K months in their business, right? They're beginners, or they might have been in business for a while, but they're just not making that consistent money. They want to get to 5K months as their first like stepping stone. And I feel really solid that I can help people do that. Like I've done that many, 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 many times myself. Of like I can help people get to 5K months. But what I found was when I was speaking to people, like in my messaging saying I can help you get to 5K months, I was attracting in a lot of beginners, a lot of people who had never created an offer before, a lot of people who were newer to social media and needed a lot of hand holding and coaching that way, and a lot of people who'd never done a launch. And so I was having to do a lot of teaching and walking people through that process, which is fine, right? And looking back, that should have been expected if I was speaking to people who want to make 5K months. They need a lot of support in that way. But that did not fully light me up. I was getting a little bit bored and I was getting a little bit resentful toward my clients, which has it's nothing to do with my clients, right? They came into my world because of my messaging. So this is on me. And so in this conversation with my coach, I realized I needed to elevate who my ideal client was. I actually desired to work with someone further along in their business. I desired to work with someone who had already hit around 5K or 8K or 10K and wanted to grow beyond that to the 20K mark, right? But as soon as I said that, I was like, "Ooh, that feels really exciting. And can I really do that? Am I capable of that? Why would someone who's making 8K months want to hire me, right? Do I actually know enough to walk with them through this process to 20K months?" And that, my friends, is where our self-leadership comes in. That little doubt, that little fear, that little insecurity that I was feeling, which wasn't little, it was actually quite big, that was showing me where I needed to rise, where I needed to step it up, where I needed to play a bigger game, how I needed to stretch myself. Because I'd already built a six-figure business to this point. I had already had many 10K plus months. I had had a 15K month, a 20K month, right? I'd been through it all and I still didn't feel confident that I could help someone else do that. So this shows me where I really need to deepen my relationship with my work, where I really need to understand the process I take people through, and where I really need to work on my own identity, how I see myself, how I view myself. Because I was still viewing myself as someone who could only help beginners. And so I had to start elevating my own identity and step it deeper into that own self-leadership so that I could become the coach who, of course, I can help people who are at 10K months and want to get to 20K months. Like I am the best person to help you do that. But that took a level of self-leadership and looking at all of those self-doubts, looking at all those fears, looking at all those insecurities and working through them, enrolling in programs that help me fill the gaps, working with my coach to help me see my own process on a deeper level. This is the self-leadership piece. So as I've been speaking, I'm sure there's a little angle here where you're like, oh, yep, there is my gap. That's the place where I'm not leading myself. That's the place where I need to stretch myself, expand myself, play to my edges, go a little bit bigger. You know what it is. And it's going to be different for everyone. But the thing is, once you know what it is, you have to do something about it. You have to then take action. And that's where it feels really, really scary because at that point, you are outside of your comfort zone. At that point, you are growing. But that's also the point where it gets really, really fun. And if you go through this process, you then get to share that with your audience and tell them how you have grown and tell them where you're at now and what that process is like. And there is nothing sexier than that. There is nothing more magnetic than that. That is you showing your audience that you are a leader. You are leading yourself. And you know what happens with leaders? People want to follow them. People want to be in their world. So go be a leader today. Step into your self-leadership, whichever direction that means for you, and then share it with your people and let them see that you are, in fact, the leader for them. All right. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Please share it on Instagram if you did and tag me at Ashley Wilhite Coaching. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will talk to you very soon.